In our last unit, we learned that quantity is the general measurement of the distance between two notes, and that quality is the exact measurement. We also learned how half steps and whole steps can be grouped together to form bigger intervals like perfect fourths or minor sixths. We also learned that the major scale provides a consistent and reliable pattern of intervals from its tonic to each of the scale degrees. And remember, the major scale is our interval tape measure, and it's time to make that work for us now. You'll recall that there are two ways we needed to know key signatures. One, you see a key signature and you need to know what key it represents. And two, you have a song and a key and you need to know what key signature to write on the music. We need to do the same with intervals. One, you need to be able to look at an existing interval and know what that distance is. And two, you need to be able to build an interval above or below a given note. So let's get started. Let's learn how to measure an existing interval. Let's start with the lower note of an interval you wish to measure and identify its key signature. So here's a C and the G above it, a G natural. Here's the key signature, no sharps or flats. 2. Determine the quantity of the distance between C and G. It is a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. In the C major scale, the G is G natural. We know this because we know our key signatures. 4. Now, here's the important thing. So the C to G in our interval lines up with the C to the G in the C major scale, which we know is a perfect fifth. Therefore, our interval is a perfect fifth. So here are the steps so far. Find the key signature of the lower note in an interval. Second, measure the quantity of the interval. Third, compare the upper note to the note with the same letter in the major scale of the lower note. Let's do another one by making a slight change to what we just did. We now have C to G flat above it. We know the C major key signature, and that's no sharps or flats. Again, we see the quantity of the distance between C and G flat is a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the C major scale, the G is G natural. We know this because we know our key signatures. Now here's the important thing again. We know that C to G natural is a perfect fifth, but the interval we're examining is C to G flat. This is a half step smaller than the perfect fifth of the C major scale. So what's a half step smaller than a perfect fifth? A diminished fifth. Let's do another. We now have D and F natural above it. We see the quantity of the distance between D and F as a third. 1, 2, 3. In the D major scale, the F is F sharp. We know this because we know our key signatures. Now here's the important thing. We know that D to F sharp is a major third, but the interval we're examining is D to F natural. This is a half step smaller than the major third in the D major scale. So what is a half step smaller than a major third? A minor third. Let's do another one. We now have E flat and an A natural above it. We know that the E flat major key signature is 3 flats. That's B flat, E flat, and A flat. We see the quantity of the distance between E flat and A natural is a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the E flat major scale, the A is A flat. We know this because we know our key signatures. We know that E flat to A flat is a perfect fourth, but the interval that we are examining is E flat to A natural. This is a half step larger than the perfect fourth in the E flat major scale. So what is a half step larger than a perfect fourth? An augmented fourth. So you need to practice interval recognition until it's automatic. So next, let's learn the opposite. Instead of identifying existing intervals, we're going to learn how to build any interval. Start with the lower note of an interval you wish to build and identify its key signature. Here's a C, and we want to build a major third above it. And what's the key signature? No sharps or flats. 2, determine the note for the quantity we want, which is a third. So we count C, D, and E to find the quantity of a third. So we know it's some kind of E. 3, remember we want to build a major third above C. We know it's some kind of E, and in the C major scale there's an E natural. We know this because we know our key signatures. Therefore, E is our answer. E natural is a major third above C because the C major scale has a major third and that note is E. So here are the steps so far. 1, find the key signature of the note we want to build above. 2, count up to the desired quantity. 3, compare the upper note you've just written to the note with the same letter in the major scale of the lower note. Let's do another. Here's the C again, but this time we want to build a minor third above it. And the key signature for C, we know it's no sharps or flats. So 2, determine the note for the quantity we want, which is a third. So we count up C, D, and E. We know it's some kind of E. And 3, remember we want to build a minor third above C. We know it's some kind of E. And in the C major scale, E is E natural. We know this because we know our key signatures. But we want a minor third. So if we lower the E by a half step by applying a flat, the desired minor third is our result. Therefore, E flat is our answer. E flat is a minor third above C. Let's do another. 1, here's a D, and we want to build a minor sixth above it. And what's the key signature for D? It's 2 sharps. That's F sharp and C sharp. Second step, determine the note for the quantity we want, which is a 6. We count up D, E, F, G, A, and B. So we know it's some kind of B. Third step, remember, we want to build a minor sixth above D. We know it's some kind of B. In the D major scale, B is B natural. We know that because we know our key signatures. But we want a minor sixth, so if we lower the B by a half step by applying a flat, the desired minor sixth is our result. Therefore, B flat is our answer. B flat is a minor sixth above D. Let's do another one. 1, here's an A flat, and we want to build a major seventh above it. And what's the key signature for A flat? Well, it's 4 flats, B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. Step 2, determine the note for the quantity we want, which is the 7th. We count up A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So we know it's some kind of G. Remember, we want to build a major seventh above A flat. We know it's some kind of G. In the A flat major scale, the G is G natural. We know this because we know our key signatures. And we want a major seventh, so the G natural we've written on the staff is already a major seventh. No sharp or flat needed. Therefore, G is our answer. G is a major seventh above A flat. You have to practice building intervals until it's automatic. So know that soon, when we learn to build and identify chords, we'll be building 2, 3, and more intervals above the root note. So we've just covered the 2 most important foundational topics in theory, key signatures and intervals. Everything about scales and chords we learn from this point forward will rely on your command of this information. Take your time, learn this stuff, and we'll see you in the next unit. If you find this video helpful, please be sure to click on the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. You can also click the link in the description below to check out the full Fretboard Biology course when you are ready for a more intensive training program. We'll see you in the next video.